Hi everyone, I am Rockin Robin, and in today's episode I'm going to show you how to make poached pears with a nice vanilla cinnamon syrup. And then we're going to top it off with some fresh whipping cream. When I serve this up, I'm going to be serving it a little bit differently than you would normally see. Most people serve it up keeping the pear intact whole. What I'm going to do is I'm going to slice it up. This is sort of a French version. I'm going to thinly slice the pear, and then I'm going to fan it out, and it's going to give it a very elegant presentation, and then we're going to top it off with a dollop of whipping cream. So let's go over our ingredients for our poached pears. So we're going to need 3 cups of water. I have 3/4 of a cup of sugar, and of course our pears. Now you can use any pears that you like. I happen to be using the bosc pear today, but you can use bartlett or anjou or any that you like. Just pick a pear that is nice and firm. No, don't pick one that's soft and was ready to eat yesterday. So make sure it's nice and firm. Okay, and we'll need a cinnamon stick, which I have right here, and some vanilla extract. Now we're going to be using, this is some sliced beets. These are raw, fresh beets. And the reason I'm using these is to give the exterior of our pears a nice red color. And then when we slice them up and fan them out, there's going to be some contrast. The outside is going to be red, the inside is going to be more white. And so it's going to look really, really nice. So that's why I'm using this. And you don't get the flavor of the beet, believe it or not. So it's a nice alternative to using food coloring, which really isn't good for you. Then for our topping, you can use whatever you like. You don't even have to have one if you don't want to, but I think the best 2 choices are vanilla ice cream, or what I'm going to be doing is I've got some whipping cream here and some vanilla and some sugar, which I'll be making whipping cream with. So we're going to start off first by working on our syrup. We're going to make that first. So here we go. One thing I want to mention is you need to get yourself a pan. Now I'm only going to be cooking 2 pears today, but you could easily do 4. The idea is get a pan that is almost taller than it is wide, because we want to put our liquid in there and we want the pear to be covered almost all the way with the liquid. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is put our 3 cups of water into our pan. And add our sugar, and I'm going to put the temperature on to medium-high. Give that a stir, and then I'm going to add the beets. And with these beets, like I said, these were raw, and I took a potato peeler and I peeled them, give them a good rinse, and then thinly slice them so that we expose more of the beet in the water, and it will turn a nice, beautiful red color. And we need to add our vanilla and our cinnamon stick. Let's just drop that in. Now I'm going to bring this to a boil, and then I'm going to reduce the heat to low and just simmer while we're preparing our pears. All right, now we're ready to peel our pears. Now we're going to go ahead and leave the stems intact. We're not going to take those off. And you can use either a peeler or a knife to take the skin off of your pear. So I'm going to try this. This works pretty well. Okay, you can see that our syrup is pretty hot. It's simmering. I brought it to a boil and then I turned it down. So now I'm going to use the stems here, and I'm just going to lay my pears into the sauce here. And we're going to poach these for about 20 minutes. I tested the pears at 15 minutes and they still were not soft enough for me. So I'm going to go ahead and test them now. It's been 20 and it seems like that's pretty good. Let me test this one. It's nice and soft. Okay, you don't want it to get too mushy, but that's nice and soft. I think that's perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and take these out and let them cool in a dish. And then I'm going to remove everything else, the beets, and I'm going to taste my sauce here and see if I have enough cinnamon, because if I leave it in, it's going to get more intense. Look at how nice and red those pears are. Now, here's another option for you. If you really want to get them even more red than this, you could add some wine, red wine, to your syrup. That's an option. But I think those are nice and red. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and let me have a taste of this. Taste your sauce and see if you've got enough cinnamon. That's good. Very nice. I'm going to go ahead and take mine out along with the beets, and like I said, I'm going to let this simmer for probably another 20 to 30 minutes. I want it to reduce down. Now if you want, you know, the beets are still good to eat. They've been cooking and they're nice and soft. You can toss them in your salad, or, you know, or just eat them plain. Here's our cinnamon stick. All right, while our syrup is simmering, I'm going to go ahead and whip up my whipping cream, and then our last step will be to trim up and take the core out of our pears, slice them, and serve them up. So while my syrup is simmering back there for, you know, 20 minutes or so, and my pears are cooling off, I'm going to go ahead and whip up my whipping cream. I'm going to do it by hand, just for the heck of it. I don't feel like getting my mixer out. So I'm just adding my cream and my vanilla, and I'm just using a whisk and a bowl. I'll let you know how long it takes. Looks pretty good. Say about 5 minutes to do this. I'm going to go ahead and cover this and put it in the refrigerator. Okay, so my sauce or my syrup is done reducing. I took it off the stove, and now I have it sitting over here in a bowl of ice so that I can cool it down quickly, because I want to hurry up and serve it up for you. So in the meantime, I want to show you how the pears turned out, how they look, and how we're going to go ahead and prepare them. All right, so here are the pears. Now, look at how bright red they turned out. This is just amazing to me. You know, how well a beet can color your food for you, as opposed to using, you know, food coloring. It's so much healthier for you, and it does a beautiful job. These are just gorgeous bright red. They need to be nice and cool before you start this. And I do want to mention there's a couple ways you could serve this. You could cut off the end right here and core out, you know, take out the center, the seeds and whatnot inside there, and take it out, and then cut it flat and sit it up in a dish like this. Pour your sauce around it and serve it up with a little bit of whipping cream. That would be great. But what we're going to do instead is I'm going to go ahead and slice the pear in half. Just like that. Now you see the difference in the color? The outside is red, the inside is still the original color of the pear. All right, so we're going to use that color variation to our advantage. Now first what we're going to do is we're going to take out the core. So I'm going to take my knife, my paring knife, and I'm just going to work my way around at an angle to cut that out. And then along this stem here, you can see the fibers there. Hopefully you can see the fibers there. And I'm going to do another V-cut right along that to work that out. And I'm also going to go ahead and cut the stems off now. I didn't need it, you know, I don't need them now, and I'm just going to go ahead and take it out. And it should peel out. All right. And pretty much the whole center just came right out. That was really nice and easy. Now this one has a little bit of the stem on there, so I'm going to cut that off as well. I'll make a little V-cut and get that out of there. Okay. Now we're ready to make our slices. Let me show you how to do this. Okay, I'm going to use my big knife now. What I don't want to do, I'm going to go ahead and cut that very tip off. There's a little bit of skin on there. What I want to do is I'm not going to cut all the way to the very tip. So I'm going to start right in the middle, and I'm going to drop back about a ½ an inch, and I'm going to cut all the way down through. All right. Now from this point, I can either work on this half or this half. So I'm going to go on this half first, and I'm just making another line as thinly as I can. That one wasn't as thin as I'd like, but this is where your knife skills come into play. We don't want to cut all the way to the end here. So always just drop your knife back if it starts to get close. Okay, and just take your time doing this. Just real careful, and if you run out of space, just drop your knife back even more. Okay, now I'm going to do this half of the pear. So try and keep it a thin slice. It looks even better if you can keep it thin. I'm not doing that great of a job here, but I'll do the best I can. Okay. Whoa. All right, drop your knife back. Don't cut all the way through. All right, now we're ready to put this on the plate. Okay, so now the fun part is we're going to place our pear on our dish like this. Okay, and we're going to fan it out. So we're going to kind of push it down. This just takes a minute, and you can see the variation in the color. Check that out. Isn't that cool? So you can kind of fan it out like this. You know. All right. And then what we can do is put a little bit of sauce on that if you want. A couple spoons of that. Whoops. And to clean up our dish here. And then we put our dollop of whipping cream right on top. And if you have a little parsley or something, you can stick a little greenery in there, give it a little color. Look at that. It's beautiful, isn't it? So there you have it. Poached pears. You gotta try this. I can't wait to taste this. I know this is gonna be delicious. It looks so beautiful, so vibrant with the colors and everything. And it goes excellent with whipping cream. That is a wonderful dessert. Light, there's not a lot of calories except if you put a lot of whipping cream like I do sometimes, but man, that's just so nice. Just wonderful dish. Guys, I hope you'll give this a try. I'm sure you're gonna love it. And use the beets. There is no beet taste in that at all. I can't taste it hardly at all. And you know, you can taste the cinnamon and the vanilla and the pear. It's just amazing. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure and share it with your friends. I'd really appreciate it. Share it on Facebook, Pinterest, Google+. Anyway, thanks for watching, and be sure and subscribe to my channel by clicking that link or that button right up there, and leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching.